Does your mother tell you things long, long when I'm gone? Who are you talking to? Is she telling you I'm the one? It's such a grave mistake. I'm wide awake.
I mean, it was just a dream. It was the best I've ever felt on stage, you know? I would have loved to say thank you face to face to face to everybody, somehow. I want the shows to go on forever.
It's been a long time coming. It's well worth the wait.
Walking off stage in Kingston. I've been the guitar player in the Tragically hip for more than half my life.
We don't go anywhere.
When it's done, it's done. And what then?
Just on trips. We haven't seen a thing.
I still kind of see us just piling into the van and driving off because I've known all these guys since we were kids.
It's a safe mistake. It's been a long time running. It's been a long.
There's far more inspiration and celebration than most people were expecting. And so all I did was make an effort to notice it and accept it.
I'll drop a caribou. I'll tell on you. I'll tell on you. I'll tell on you.
How many people get to turn the lights off on all those great cities? How many people get to go and say goodbye in their own terms? That doesn't happen very often. But if you can go and do it the way you want to do it, there's something really cool about that.
Boatload of nerve. I would say you've been told. You work me against my friends and you'll get left out in the cold. It's the same mistake. It's been a long time running. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long, long time running. It's well the way. It's well the way. It's well.
I don't know what we were planning. A tour. The record was made. I guess we probably wondered what we would do next. And then, you know, yeah. Brain cancer. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is James Perry, and I'm the head of the Division of Neurology here at Sunnybrook Hospital. I want to thank you for your attention and your concern. And it's my difficult duty today to tell you that Gord Downey's brain tumor is incurable. He has a primary brain tumor. This is one that started from within the brain itself. It's not cancer that is spread from another part of the body. And these primary brain tumors are infiltrative by nature. So they're impossible to remove completely by surgery. They frequently recur, and they require other therapies.
The first time I heard the hip, a guy named Greg Buckley came and picked me up at the farm. And he had fully completely in his tape deck. And he said, "You got to check this band out. Like, they're really cool."
The first step in managing these, beyond getting pictures like MRI scans of the brain, is an operation. And at Sunnybrook, we're very grateful to Dr. Douglas Cook in Kingston, better known as DJ Cook, who is a friend of the band and an excellent neurosurgeon. And he performed Gord's surgery and excised the bulk of the brain tumor.
We had to have discussions like, you know, what would you prefer? Living without being able to speak or have new memories, but have more time with your family? Or should we limit things and ultimately give you less time on Earth, but have higher quality? And ultimately, Gord opted to have a full temporal lobectomy, which is quite an invasive, large surgery, where we removed the entire temporal lobe, and then I removed the hippocampus and moved back along the back of the hippocampus to remove as much of the enhancing tissue as possible. The best case scenario would be 4 or 5 years of survival with no further neurologic decline than what he's experienced now.
What played definitely on his mind was my family and my brothers in the band. It's kind of over for everybody, and that's a lot to bear, I think. It definitely was, it was crushing. The father of 4 children, and it's just everything. The ground beneath you just falls away. It's just, there's so many things to worry about, you know, let alone just dying.
I went up one night in February, howling winter at the time, about a week into his radiation. And I hadn't seen him since this happened. He had 2 surgeries and all of it. You know, he literally wasn't in good enough shape to, you know, form any sentences. I mean, he was really, you know, beat up, but also, you know, memory, and he was just having, you know, he was confused, and he and Pat, you know, they were just both wanting me to stay. So I ended up going to all the radiation treatments.
30 sessions, 6 weeks of radiation, like every day except for weekends, in conjunction with chemotherapy.
Pat would crank music, and you know, one day it'd be Old Water Boys, and I'd just be like, oh, God, thank you, Pat. And then it would be like, you know, the Bee Gees, who are my secret, you know, it's not a band that you're supposed to, but God, I love them. Like a nail in my life. How can we mend this broken heart?
He started saying a little bit, you know, we were supposed to tour, right? We got this record coming out, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to come out in June, as far as I know. Well, we're going to tour, right? And I was like, oh, you know, I mean, really honestly, and it's no, I would say it to him, it just was like, wow, I just don't know if he could ever, the way he looked, the way he felt even, he couldn't even stay awake.
We went into the first rehearsal, I say we because I'm just taking him there and sort of staying there as his guardian. You know, all the word finding and name finding was still a major problem. There's a lot of swelling still in the brain. There's still residual radiation effect and maybe even some disease. You know, he couldn't give you one name of an album or a song or anything, or, you know, let alone the lyrics.
So that first rehearsal, I'm not sure what to expect. And it's like, oh, wow, because I actually couldn't remember a damn thing. I think I started to cry.
Why don't we start with that one?
Play that one?
Yeah, because it's sort of, you know,
Sure.
pretty regular.
I know that one.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Escape is at hand. Just thinking it started, you know, Phantom Power.
Not even a plan for what song they were going to do first.
Just as off the top of my head.
But for whatever reason, Paul just started playing Escapes at Hand for the Traveling Man. I actually have it videotaped.
I wonder, would we have... Hopefully we didn't start with that one, because that's a bit of a tricky one. So I don't think we would have started with it, but maybe we did.
Indulgence isn't the right word, but yes, let's get together and play, and even if entertaining the idea of going on the road is giving him a signpost in the distance, then if that's helping him feel better, then awesome.
I did not think there was any chance in hell that we were going to make it to the tour.
There can be a disconnect between what the person sees, so their insight into their deficits and nature of disease, and what others see. Gord was a pro, and he was really confident that he could do this. But I could see, other band members not so confident.
I didn't want to get on stage and have him have that moment on stage where he was completely lost. And I certainly didn't want to get up on stage and have him have a seizure and have 10,000 people with their iPhones out uploading it.
Yeah, I'm getting a little buzz in the right ear. You got that?
I said, I definitely want to do this. I want to try and do this. There's just no way. I think if I don't do it, I will be just crushed. You know? Just crushed. I don't want to go out like that.
All right. I find treasure or worse. I watch the end of man and I dream like a bird. I remain unloved and I forget a lot. Then I try not to try and I can remember or not. I'm a real machine, it follows. You're a real machine, fed on shadows. I'm a real machine, you follow. You're a real machine, fed on shadows.
So I had everything kind of on hold. As soon as we knew we're going, you just have to go with the spirit of block it, book it, here's my credit card. And then there's that kind of...
It was one of the rare things that was kind of out of our control, and the safety net was pretty thin. Up until the start in Victoria and the end in Kingston, you know, it could have ended at any point in time. We didn't know. Our job was to protect the band.
We've been doing this for 30 years and never rehearsed for a tour. This time around was completely different.
We would go take a break, and he would get on his bike. He'd get his feet moving. He'd do some stretches. He would keep working at it, and he wouldn't take a break. He worked and worked and worked.
There were days where I thought, we've got a long way to go. But he had this fire within him, and he had this goal in his mind, and he was driven, and he knew what he needed to get done somehow.
We had the Victoria Arena for 2 nights before the show. So we would normally do that for one night, but this extra nervous about this. Can Gord do it? Really was the bottom line, physically. Or is he going to drop? So that was hanging over everything. Again, Gord confident, but, everyone worried. Doctors around, paramedics, So that's a reality, and I think it got everyone a little tense.
As we near the kickoff of this nationwide tour, 8:30. As we near the kickoff of this nationwide tour, it'd be hard to say the feeling here is anything but mixed.
These fans behind me are the same hip fans that have seen the band through 12 studio albums, 14 Junos, and hundreds of concerts, but there's one thing they haven't done yet, and that's say goodbye.
Chill.
Metallic has been a part of rock and roll like forever. And I knew how impactful that would be and how strong and so unexpected. And he once did mention that he just wanted to take everybody's mind off things. Well, this is gonna do it.
There is a great celebration happening in all of the aspects of the hat in terms of the exacting the crown height, the brim that rolls up a little bit off the face so he's not in shadow. The very playful choices of band and feathers and porcupine quills and wheat. I had two of my favorite Tragically Hip song lyrics, Silk Screen into the Lining. It's a small way for me to just say thank you for the many years of enjoyment and inspiration that I found through the music.
I never thought it was actually going to happen. Even by the time we got out to Victoria, I didn't think it was going to happen. And if he'd come to me in the middle of the show and said, I don't think I can do it, I would have put my guitar down and walked off the stage with him in a second.
My bandmates and everybody around me did help me get onto my knees and then onto my feet and then people, we are.
They shot a movie once in our hometown. Everybody was in it from miles around. Out at that speedway, some kind of Elvis thing. Well, I ain't no movie star, but I can get behind anything. Yes, I can get behind anything. Woo! Get it out, get it all out. Yeah, stretch that thing. Make it last, make it a last. Listen to the supper bell ring. While the taxi driver liked his rhythm, never like stops. Throws a passion, something just throws him off. Well, sometimes faster it gets, less we need to know. We got to remember, smarter we get, further it's gonna go. And you're blue, you blow it high, no. Yeah, you're gonna blow, baby, I feel fine. I'm pretty sure it's genuine. It makes no sense, it makes no sense, but we'll take it free every time. Yeah, whoever fits her usually gets her. It was the strangest thing. Had we moved so fast into this boxing ring. Wow, sometimes faster we get, the less we need to know. But we got to remember, smarter we get, further we're gonna go. And we blow it high, go. High, go.
Victoria, I'll never forget. I wandered to the front of house to find Dr. Perry standing there by himself. And I look at him and he is bawling. He's had this weight on him because ultimately we all turned to him and said, can we do this? And he said yes. So he had been carrying that to that moment. And here it was, and he just lost it. And then I lost it.
When they took those first steps on stage, all of them, and the crowd and the energy in that room is something just never have felt before. And I just felt so happy that we were there, that this was happening, that they get to do this again.
I figured out at 10 years old I wanted to be a drummer.
It gets tighter with the air conditioning.
Started to play in my parents' attic with my mom's knitting needles and, other things I could find. But I wasn't really in a band until I was in the hip. It's been the fabric of the life that I've had, I went from high school, I wrote my last exam, I got in a car, my brother dropped me off at the Horseshoe, and we played a gig that night. So I ended my high school career and I started my professional career in the same day.
Gord Sinclair moved in across the street from me when He was 1 and I was about 2.5. And the day he moved in, we played in a sandbox in his backyard. And we've been playing together almost every day since then in some fashion.
We were faux punk rockers together in the 70s and always played in bands together. You know, he kind of said, "You're the bass player," one day in high school.
We were Rick and the Rodents, and there was another band called the Slinks. And the Slinks had a really good frontman, Gord Downey. We just said, we gotta get that singer. We gotta pry that singer loose.
How are you?
And we had another drummer who missed the first 3 practices. And I think Gord said, "There's that kid at KC, Johnny Fay. He's apparently a good drummer. Let's call him." And Gord Downey's best friend was Paul Langlois.
Is that this song?
Paul was going to quit his job at Red Lobster and move to Nashville to become a singer-songwriter.
He wanted to go down there and see how he could maybe make it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'll never see, I'll miss you, because we were best friends. And I went to the guys in the hip and said, we should get Paul to join us, have 2 guitars.
I love the band, so it was like, wow, okay, sure, if you like. And then I just chiseled out my role. Tried to, learn on the fly.
So I'm just trying to sort of landing it more in this area, which has a lot more, it's more of a bridge pickup. Can you work with that?
I like it.
Okay. Where are you doing that?
4:45 on the stage.
Okay. And do you have security positions?
Currently,
tonight?
they're there now.
Just there. Okay.
They're there currently. If we need to move them around, there is security in that area.
Okay, so hi guys, I'm Rick Wellington, tour security for Tragically Hip. Most of us have worked together for a couple of years now. If something happens on the stage, whatever the case may be, please, all your staff, just pay attention to what they are doing on the floor. The tour will take care of anything like that on the stage.
In addition to the EMS the band has to hire for the venue, there's a special EMS unit on site just for Gord.
Stay where you are, pay attention to the crowd.
The biggest risk was probably more seizures. The seizures are much more likely if you are sleep deprived. It culminated a little bit with a little bit of a break with the lightning storm and during the dressing changes. But I was worried because he was tired.
It doesn't take too much to upset her. Yeah, something could clear her up. Doesn't take too much to upset her. There's nothing that could clear her up. Just saying one little thing that could make you feel better. Under this morning moon, the reactor's down. I guess for Labor Day, today's the first.
I always had the monitor in front, but I hardly ever used it. Now I need every line.
From across the lake, hey, that's a morning.
So Billy got me 6 teleprompters for this tour. 6 people. Unfortunately.
The sun's a light bulb, and the moon is a mirror. There are times when you can see both the bulb and the mirror. See the bulb and the mirror. That's a morning moon. Sorry.
We would finish a song like Music of Work where, he says Music of Work 50 times at the end, and he would look at me and say, Billy, what's that one called? And he would write it down.
Lyric teaching by Billy Ray.
Just want to show you the basics. It's just sort of a nightly thing. I've done this my whole career. My dad would have done this on the road all the time. Make sure the shoes are looking good. There was a band in grade 11, the Slinks, and they didn't have a singer. I mean, I really wanted to do it. I wanted to sing. I pull on my incredible pants. My neck piece is 2 socks stitched together. And I made a whole bunch of them, different fashion statements, but of course they match my socks. My mom found my lyrics for the band, and okay, you can sing this one, not this one, not this one, this one. I was like, are you kidding? Like, and so it's funny, I can remember it like that, but I was standing there with a plate. I'd just eaten breakfast. I took the plate and threw it in the sink and walked out the door. This is tonight's, I think, eh? Purple. And she had no idea where I was.
Looking good, Hollywood.
And I came back the next day, and nothing was discussed. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
This is my first look at it. Wow. This is absurd. And I just was able to go into music and play and sing whatever the hell I wanted from now on. So my career kind of really started that day. Rick? Are people gonna fall? Scream? Maybe. Yeah. Right? This could have some kind of effect, right?
That's the new hat. The hat.
The hat, eh? You like the hat?
Yeah.
Here? All right. Give me a hug. Come on. Feel what it feels like.
Oh my goodness.
It's an incredibly nerve-wracking, it's a scary gig. You know, it's entirely terrifying. Always was, never stopped. So yeah, getting my clothes ready, my shoes shined, the leather suits. These are just ways to, I felt cool up there. Felt like this is cool, because I usually was pretty afraid. Thank you.
It's hard to tuck in with that.
This guy's a little more
form-fitting.
A little more Elvis 74. It's okay. I needed to sing. Something I discovered in the last bunch of years was look everybody in the eye. All show. Like never stop doing it. And then so I've got a big note to hit, like a super high note, and I'm gonna look you in the eye, and I'm not going to not hit it. You know, it's like, and it made it hittable.
Once you've said in unison, and oh, in double surprise, and shared relief with a mutual feeling, and a look at each other's eyes.
This is Rob from the Hip. Tonight's show will begin in approximately 5 minutes. If you're not in your seats when the show begins, I will be very disappointed.
Because like love, it has two cunning effects. I told her that it isn't, that it's just exquisite. Because like love, it has its barbarous threats. Why is the world so creepy, she asked. After a car full of haircuts drove past. Backseat full of the boys. Breaking glass. Throwing off glass.
Well, it went from hugs a bunch of years ago, and it's just grown and grown and grown. And so these last ones were just me not letting go. Got my arms around Robbie and just like kissing the ear, and then just like, I love you so much. God damn it, Jesus. Everybody just, oh. God. I got to tell you thank you so much. I love you. I must have done some things right. Because they hung with me. They didn't let me go. Maybe they knew they couldn't because I needed them.
Bought 2 fifths of lead-free gasoline. Said the bottle is dusty, but my engine is clean. He bought a nice blue suit with the money he could find. Said if bride didn't like it, St. Peter wouldn't mind.
We went on the road with about 90 songs. And in the past, we would have probably tried to kind of prepare ourselves to do about half that.
Interesting and sophisticated, refusing to be celebrated. It's a monumental big screen kiss. It's so deep, it's meaningless.
This was me and Paul. And Paul kind of understanding, dude, we got to do all the records.
All of our records. Okay. There's some records where it's going to be a challenge to get 2 songs that we know well.
He said, I'll die before I quit. And this guy's the limit.
Don't tell Gord he can't do something.
It can't be Nashville, the fire.
You know, the one doctor told him, you're not going on the road.
It can't be Nashville.
You're not doing 90 songs, you know.
focus.
You can't make it to Everest.
That can prove this is all nothing but a cold calculation.
People appreciated that we played these songs that we rarely play, but as far as taking on that challenge of going that deep in the catalog,
Instructions from the manual.
I'm up there flying by the seat of my pants half the time.
Could not have been much more plain. The blues are still required.
Sinclair and I are looking at each other. G, D. G, D.
Lava flowing super farmer's direction. He's been getting reprieved from the heat in the frozen food section. Don't tell me what the poets are doing. Don't tell me that they're talking.
I did feel like it was sort of more math than anything else. Let's just cover a lot of bases in 15 different ways.
That's right.
And I got 6 pieces of Bristol board, and the drawing of the lines took as long as choosing the songs did. I couldn't believe what arts and crafts I got into.
Don't tell me what the poets are doing. On the street, they're the epitome of vain. Don't tell me how the universe is all tied. When you find out how they get paid, alright. If there's nothing more that you need now, then uncut by bare-chested women. Beach bleach, towels within reach. For them women gonna make it by swimming. They're gonna make it by swimming.
I could see Gord as this tour came on, finding his groove and getting stronger. You know, and all boats rise with that tide. You know, he gets stronger, and the band got stronger and stronger and stronger.
I think the concept really arose because of the, fairly good possibility that this would be the last one.
and then I gotta switch guitars quickly, but I'll do everything quick.
You put your kids to bed. House is quiet. Maybe you got a fire going. And get your things around you. Your notes, your pen. And, start maybe writing something.
Maybe a prostitute could teach you how to take a compliment. I remember hearing that line going, he's done. That's it. What else you gonna write? You're good. Back it in. And then he put out Bob Cage and he said, could have been the Willie Nelson, could have been the wine. I thought, okay, so you had a little more smoke in your bag there.
Does it diminish your super capacity to love? Does it diminish your maybe a prostitute could teach you how to take a compliment?
It's like a sports team or a family. It's not been happy and perfect all the time, but to paraphrase Olivia Harrison, the secret to a long band is you don't break up. And everyone sort of does what they can to prevent that from happening.
I'll drag you there. You said no one drags me in.
Gord Downie was a very dynamic frontman, and he turned into a superb lyricist. And we always knew that there was a big danger that the focus would become Gord, Gord, Gord. In a weird way, it came to pass with this tour because it was unavoidable. The focus, because of the situation, the focus is very much on Gord. That trumps the democracy. Johnny said something that really snapped things into focus for me. We have each other. When we're on stage playing, we're looking to each other. And Gord Downie's looking out at the audience the whole time. We're each other's family, but the audience is the family for Gord. it put me at ease a little bit about what we were doing and about maybe why Gord needed to do it.
He said, I'm fabulously rich. Come on, just let's go. Kind of bit you left. Jeez, I don't know. But I can guarantee there'll be no knock on the door. I'm a total pro.
missed technically. Thanks, man.
That was a lot of work.
I had a lot of. I thought we were on our way. The first chorus, first 8, it was pretty great. 8. And then I came back.
I found Coffee Girl the hardest. It is hard.
So did I.
It is fucking hard.
It's hard.
It's not just cruising altitude. It's just like there's these little breaks.
And then you got to just ride it the whole way.
I thought Struggle was really good, but the Coffee Girl was good. We did it.
Thank you so very much.
Nice. Thank you.
You're awesome.
I don't know where all the bushes went. I gotta get on deck.
Every Canadian tour, Toronto blows up. There's a big blowout, and then you get the down. And I thought, how do we find our way back in Kingston? What happens if we get dark? All of us in Kingston. We had an intention of keeping the band protected. And so we weren't looking at the news, and we didn't really talk about the larger things happening. How do you talk about it in a way that is not gonna break everyone down?
It's imminent, so you won't have to rise and fall alone, or endure the wonder of survival, the wipeout loss, the elation of free fall, the rock bottom of sweet betrayal, alone.
Kingston's always a tough one. There's so many friends and family. You're getting pulled in a million different directions.
I love it there. I love it. It's a hard place to play, though.
It's our hometown, so everybody has their own various dramas going on when you're playing home, be it making sure that grandma gets to the show and this sister can't sit beside this sister. And so I think the distractions of playing a hometown gig made playing that gig that much easier.
it was looming. The filming of this, the fact that it was going to be on TV, all of it, I don't know why it was bothering me. But there was more of a heaviness, and it wasn't necessarily because this is it for this tour and possibly beyond. I don't know what it was. It probably is all the things I just denied that what it was. You know, just the heaviness of it.
The shows themselves, they all built with time and energy and time. Just so at Kingston it was like, look at all the cameras, look at all the hoopla, isn't this awesome?
Take a bit of a breather. We can skip to the practical part. We can skip to the time of neither. When we're together,
420 communities are holding events like this across Canada right now. There are going to be millions of people watching this concert that we're about to see tonight. One of the most important bands of the last 30 years in our country. I really hope you
Honestly, I don't know how to take this moment. I don't know whether this is a celebration or a goodbye or a tribute or a chance for one big cathartic cry or a triumphal moment of how extraordinary this cultural force that is the Tragically Hip has been and will be.
Say thanks for sharing this with us.
It's as close an articulation of the undefinable about our country as anything else could be.
And they grew up with us.
They are our band, and we are their fans.
They're just a piece of where we're from.
There'll never be another band like that.
Canada's favorite barbecue band, garage band, house band, club band, rock band, arena band, and outdoor festival band.
It just wasn't a good weekend if we didn't have some hip playing.
Man, that reminds me of a hip lyric. Like the mastery of their craft, like how good they are.
Concert number 44 for me.
We really wanted to be a part of this Canadian historical musical moment.
It's folk music. It's he sings about stuff we all understand. Like I'm from Bob Cajun.
They sing about home.
Youth, vibrancy, Canada, pride.
They're Tom Thompson-ness, Algonquin Park-esque.
Driving in my car, blasting Cordelia.
I was in labor with my second child. I had to drive myself to the hospital listening to the Hip.
It's taught my kids about Canadian stories that the Hip tell. We're very lucky that he's decided to do this and give this gift to all his fans. Thank you so much.
My hat off to you there, Gord Downey.
We love these guys, and we're going to miss them a lot.
in the 60s. That was the great question. What's a Canadian? What's a Canadian identity? How do we define ourselves? And I think we still haven't figured it out.
It is a concert. There it is. Look at the size of the crowd. In Kingston, this is at Springer Market Square. So many people gathered to see the live concert of the Tragically hit. The venue itself holds about 6,000 people. Organizers were expecting that there would be 25,000 people in the square. It looks like there might even be more than that in Kingston.
There's something about a really good straight-ahead rock band who you can hear playing at a bar somewhere, but there's a kind of an honesty in what they do. And then you put this crazy poet in front of them. Yeah, I don't know if that's Canadian, but I'd like it to be.
So, won't lay it on me?
Yeah. Before we get over here, this is the sanctuary, right?
Will you tie these?
Yes.
For me?
Yes.
Right? I just got a phone call from Bobby Orr the other day, and he'd been tipped off by my godfather. Give Gord a call. It took like about 3 seconds, as if we'd always known each other. How you doing? What's going on? I was like, I'm telling what countless people have told him. Just like you are. I'm really grateful just to hear your voice, just to be able to say, I love you. Which, I did. I love you. And it was quiet there for a second. Because he's not going to say, I love you too, Gord. He might have, though. I should remember. I love you too, maybe. I don't care. Yeah, in my mind he did. I love you too, Gord.
through a bunch of dancers. Quickly follow their So simple.
And I'm just so unaware of
Something important.
stuff that would have in the past just made me so nervous as cameras here. And I was having none of those sensations.
And yeah, the human.
But then I realized, like, I haven't said anything. And then I thought, okay, I just need to remember. What do I need? I gotta remember these two words. First Nations.
Under pressure. For coming to our show. Who cares about the people way up north that we were trained our entire lives to ignore? Trained our entire lives to hear not a word of what's going on up there. But what's going on up there ain't good. And we're gonna get it fixed. But we got the guy to do it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening to that. First we'd climb a tree, and maybe then we'd talk, or sit silently and listen to our thoughts. Illusions of someday, casting a golden light. No dress rehearsal. This is our life. Where the hornet stung me, and I had a feverish dream with revenge and doubt. Tonight we smoke them. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. Morning shroud,
received a letter from a musician, a guy based out of Philadelphia. He followed the band for years, and he watched the last concert by himself, and he bawled his eyes out. And he said that rock and roll and bands are like hot air balloons that go up. And they, you know, if you're really lucky, you get up into the jet stream and you travel really far and you see a lot. But at the end, you're going to come crashing down. There's always a bad end for a band. He said, I've never seen a band, especially after a 30-year journey, land the balloon safely. They landed the balloon, and it was glorious. And everyone was there to cheer when they landed.
On behalf of Robbie, Paul, and Gordy and Johnny, on behalf of all the men and women of the crew, thank you very much. It's a night that disappears. And you captured it on a lot of stuff, but it still disappears. And that's okay too.
Deference to the crowd and our crew and all our friends and everybody else that helped immeasurably to make it what it was. When it comes down to time to walk up the stairs and go on stage, it's just us. I got you. I'm there with you. It'll all be good, you know, and if it's not good, it'll be crappy together. It's good being in a band.
The music will carry on. I mean, people sit around campfires and play our tunes, you know, all over the country. That's a real band.
Hopefully Gord lasts for a long, long time. But we had a great 30-plus year run. And maybe it was a celebration of, look what this band did.
Very grateful for all these little things. My God. Over the years, just try to, I don't know, to bring it home. Looking at people all in the eye made kind of clear why I'm doing what I'm doing. We're meeting for a second. And then we're moving on. did feel like we're all in this river just floating along.
The color of the night, all the smoke of one light gives way to shaky movements, improvisational skills in a forest of whispering speakers. Let's swear that we will get with the times in a current help to stay. Let's get friendship right and get life day to day in this forget your skate stream full of counter and woes, diverse as ever seems, proceeding on an easy note in a face so full of meaning to almost make it glow. Oh, for a good life, we just might have to weaken. Find somewhere to go. Let's find somewhere to go. Let's find somewhere we'll grow. We'll find somewhere we'll go. Cause in the forget your skate stream, you can hang your head and whoa, diverse as ever seem to know which way to go.